Let's get into it. So just to catch the people up here. So Coco loses to Badosa quarterfinals Australian Open, right? Round 32 loses to Marta Kostick in Qatar. Round of 32, McCartney Kessler in Dubai. Indian Wells, Bencic, round of 16. Miami,
Fourth
Magdalena,
round,
round of 16. So what we're seeing here is that she's not getting to the business end of any event, right? She won World Tour Finals in Riyadh in November, but we haven't seen like will the real Coco Gauff please
please stand up.
stand up? Well, which one is it? Is it the one who had a hot summer and won DC, won Toronto, Cincinnati, and then wins U.S. Open? Or is she what is she? What is she? What do we want from her?
I'd be camped out. I'd be waiting outside of Brad Gilbert's house with coffee in hand. I got bagels. I got donuts. I got a round of golf at your favorite spot. Please give me 6 months. I gotta figure this thing out and get myself back on track. And I say that both in jest as well as in reality because I feel like she's playing her best tennis when that happened. I've seen this before. Coco Gauff, and we blamed it on age before. We blamed it on Hamilton. She's just so young. She's just so young. I saw a girl whose tactics and technique were breaking down. Her serve was average at best. Her forehand was laughable, and just continued to lose her matches. You just talked about Emma Navarro, who's now finding it tough and tougher in year two. This is now year four for Coco. And you have to appreciate, Alvin, some of those things, the leopard hasn't changed spots. She got through that open. She got through that summer. She got through those things and played some great tennis and got the quote unquote monkey off her back. But she did not necessarily kick down the door of anything else really since then. And while I think there's a maturity fact, there's a whole lot of maturity fact, she's still young. I have not seen major game changes. I would love to see her get back, and I don't know. I say this completely at a bit of thin air. It doesn't seem like she's playing some of the same high-level doubles tournaments she played before, which I thought was a big testament for her. She was playing more matches. She was getting more returns and getting more serves in. I felt she was playing in more bigger moments. I've seen this be a problem, and I need you to stat check for me. I see a lot of these players starting to get better at tennis, and the agents and the people around them you need to start focusing on your singles and like doubles somehow takes it out of you. These players play a match every other day. Come on now, give me a break. Get out there, play some ball. And you're training anyway. You might as well play a match, especially for doubles. And I feel like that doubles really gave her a strong sense of not only winning, but she was getting the returns, more chance at serves. That's just me. I feel like she is a player that could really benefit from it. I also feel, Alvin, that she's at a very pivotal point where she's starting to think that she's arrived. And in a lot of ways, maybe she has, but I don't think she's really resolved some of the issues in her game. And so while she's won a slam, she's not fully finished building. And I feel like for her to think that she has, it was just a bad week. Madison had a bad week, had a bad match in Miami. She's not having a bad year. You know what I mean? And she hasn't gone through the test of time. She's still floating, ranking included, from last year out. You know what I mean? She's not necessarily, in my opinion, playing the best tennis she's played before. And so I say that to say, I'm just concerned that those same things are creeping up again. How does she get away from it? What has her camp not made her really continue to get down? And where I see a player like again, she's a 3C, she's five in the world. I got to compare it to other top fives. Is she continuing to get better? Do I see her and say she's a better player than I saw her 6 months
Yeah,
ago? I don't say that.
I'll I'll give two things, and I think those are all very valid points, and a lot of them I agree with, so I don't need to repeat them. There's two things that I feel like are in Coco's favor right now. Like you mentioned, she's young, sure. She's going into probably her best surface where she can kind of hide deficiencies the best
Sure.
on clay. Okay. One, where on the men's side you see players like an Andre Rublev or like a Tsitsipas, right? Who get to a certain point, or like Felix Auger-Aliassime, get to a certain point, and then their game hits like this
A
level of
real wall.
homeostasis, right? Yeah, and then other players, they're younger versions of themselves, come up into the pro rankings, but their high end's a little bit higher and they pass them. So what you start to see is the ranking starts to drop, but the player has not gotten worse. They just have hit their wall, they've hit their ceiling, and then other players with higher ceilings just kind of supplant them, right? So I say that to say with Coco, okay, these are the problems, these are the issues. Okay, so maybe she's not the fourth best player in the world. Maybe she's fifth. Who else is there? Like, quite honestly, like you see that Mira Andreeva like passes her. Maybe okay, fine. Maybe she does. Maybe, but then what else is there? Like we still have the same top players. You still have Arena Sabalenka. You still have Iga Swiatek. You still have on her best day, on most days, you have Elena Rybakina, and then you've got and then you've got Mira Andreeva, right? But then it's Coco.
You lost. You didn't put keys in there, but yes. But I'm with
Yeah, keys keys would be in there in the same way that it's we're talking about 3 months. Like we're talking about 3 months, right? It's the same way that we're worried about Coco is the same way we shouldn't necessarily be like all the way in on Madison because she has a whole career to compare up to the last 3 months. So I will say I'm worried. I don't know that I also have the same concerns that you have with her game just not evolving. I just don't
I'm
know
concerned with
that.
the future. I'm concerned with the present, and I'm concerned that the issues she's had in the past are resurfacing.
Mm,
Inconsistent results due to shaky forehand and serve. Inconsistent results due to tactics. She is not playing smart tennis. She's relying on grinding. She's relying on running on being on the run. And Alvin, as fast as Coco is, she's not as adept at taking time away and cutting off the corners like some of her younger counterparts. There are players that are playing better than she is, cutting off the court, and are better on the move than she is. She's just, in my opinion, a little bit better of an athlete and is a phenomenal backhand on the run, which I think is great. I don't feel that same, I don't think she trusts her forehand out wide on the run to go line or cross. You almost always know she's going to go cross. When I saw Badosa beat her at in Australia, it looked like she had watched film and was like, "Why would I go anywhere else but to a forehand?" I mean, I
yeah,
think
that was
it was almost scary. But here's my
I
point,
felt
Alvin,
bad watching
and
that
I don't think anything has changed. That's what I'm saying. That's what's concerning me. We're not talking about a new problem. We're talking about the same problem that's resurfacing. So that's why I'm concerned because I feel like, and now she's at a higher stature, and now the spotlight's starting to go on to the Alexandra Yala. Now the spotlight's going on to the resurgence of Emma Raducanu and so on and so on and so on. And now we're getting to this space where, hey, what about me? And I'm kind of,
yeah.
I worry. As I said, I'm concerned. I'm not worried, and certainly not for a future, just for a present. And if these were new issues, Alvin, I say, you know what? Her team will get to that. These are persistent issues, Alvin, and that's why why I'm concerned at present because I feel like she had it licked, and now I'm starting to think maybe not.